Hi there, I'm Teresa Goodnight. I'm the TD Catalyst teacher at Parker Academic Center. Today I'm going to be sharing some information with you about the gifted identification process in CMS for the 2021-2022 school year. Here is my contact information if you would like more information about these slides and if you have any questions. Today, we're going to define giftedness. I'm going to share information about the CMS gifted screening process for grades 2 and 3 and grades 4 through 12, which are only applicable to grades 4 and 5 for our school. And we're going to analyze the 2019 to 2022 CMS gifted identification rubric. The standard one for student identification of the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools Advanced Studies protocol states that the student identification procedures for AIG are clear, equitable, and comprehensive and lead towards appropriate educational services. As we define giftedness today, this is the state definition of AIG gifted students. And I will give you a chance to read over this. These are the different types of identification that students can be identified as gifted: academically and intellectually gifted, academically gifted in reading, and academically gifted in math. They're slightly different in how they are obtained in this far right column, and then middle column gives a description of each one. The CMS gifted screening process is rooted in best practices for gifted identification. We do universal screening, so every student receives a minimum of 3 assessment opportunities, and we use multiple criteria. Both formal and informal assessments are used. It is comprehensive and aligned to the service model, which is the TD Catalyst model, and provides multiple pathways to student identification. The second grade timeline, we begin with in the second grade in the fall, we begin with the gifted rating scales, which is typically completed by the first grade teacher, but this year is being completed by the second grade teacher. Next, we will administer the COGAT test, the cognitive abilities test. Next, for students, all students will be tested using the MAP test. This is a district assessment, so all students take the same test. And then from the MAP test, the students who meet the criteria will take an Iowa assessment, which is an achievement test. Then students who fit the criteria for the portfolio will do a fall and winter portfolio. And there's an additional portfolio opportunity in the winter. In the third grade, it's very similar. GRS, if GRS was not completed as in first grade. In third grade, we will take the COGAT test also, the MAP test, the Iowa test, and also students will have an opportunity to submit a portfolio selection. The Gifted Rating Scales provides a standardized method for identifying children for potential gifted identification based on teacher observations and allows for identification of relative strengths and specific areas of giftedness. The 6 domains include intellectual, academic, motivation, creativity, leadership, and artistic talent. The Cognitive Abilities Test is an aptitude test that measures reasoning and problem-solving skills and provides information on how a child thinks. It's divided into 3 batteries: verbal, quantitative, and nonverbal. Verbal battery assesses language-based, quantitative assesses mathematical concepts, patterns, and relationships, and nonverbal assesses reasoning using pictures and shapes. An ability profile is also provided to guide instruction and growth. The measures of academic progress, the MAP test, assesses students in both reading and math. MAP will be used as an achievement data point for everyone. COGAT and GRS will be paired with MAP to determine gifted eligibility. This is a change from in the past. Now students will be able to show their academic achievement using MAP, and if they do not qualify using the MAP data, we will also administer Iowa if they meet this criteria. The criteria for the Iowa assessment that is based on a 77th percentile or higher on verbal quantitative QN composite or overall VQN composite for COGAT. It does assess achievement in reading and math. TD portfolios are a systematic collection of work samples that demonstrate gifted traits and behaviors. Portfolios are scored by a team of trained TD teachers throughout the district to determine if evidence of the following categories exist: in advanced language, analytical thinking, motivation, perseverance, or leadership, perspective sensitivity or humor, and creativity, artistic talent. Students must meet certain criteria in order to participate in this assessment opportunity. These are the criteria for completing a portfolio. Unidentified students must meet one of these criteria. They must have scored 84 percentile or higher in 3 or more domains in the gifted rating scales, with at least 1 in intellectual, academic, or creativity, or score in the 77th to 88th percentile on the overall composite of the COGAT test, or score in the 77th percentile or higher on any battery of the aptitude assessments, or have one of the other following risk factors at the bottom. The 77th percentile correlates with an above average or very high reasoning ability level, which is why the points are awarded for 77th or higher. The GRS gifted classifications, again, follow the same percentiles. The CMS gifted identification rubric. Students start earning points for aptitude and achievement in the 77th percentile or higher. There's a more direct path to gifted identification than there was in the past. Once a student identifies as gifted in any capability, the process stops. We do not continue with the process. There are multiple pathways for students to identify as gifted in CMS. This is the rubric. As you can see, this far left column is the aptitude assessment and lots of information about those. The second column is the achievement assessment, either the Iowa assessment or end of grade assessment, and also the MAP assessment will fit into this category. This third column is the aptitude battery for single subject identification. So using these specific tools, students can identify just in reading or just in math. Here's the verbal aptitude is for reading, and the bottom quantitative or QN aptitude is for math. This fourth column is the informal assessment column with the GRS here at the top and then the portfolio points here at the bottom. And the far right column is the criteria for submitting a portfolio. Again, these are the different identifications that students can be identified as gifted. These are the student scenarios that we will study to determine how students receive points on the rubric. For student scenario 1, we have a COGAT percentiles, verbal of 96, quantitative of 99, nonverbal of 95, quantitative and nonverbal together is 99, and the overall composite VQN is 98. The GRS percentiles of 80, 78, 84, 76, 85, and 75, and the MAP percentiles in reading of 99 and math of 99. So as you can see, the student identifies as academically and intellectually gifted, AIG, with an overall VQN composite of 98 percentile. Here in this column, 96 to 99th percentile gives him a total of 12 points. Here's student scenario number 2 with COGAT percentiles, verbal of 79, quantitative of 65, nonverbal of 73, quantitative nonverbal 68, VQN composite of 72. The GRS percentiles of 65, 78, 80, 62, 74, and 86, and the math percentiles for reading at 77 and math at 54. The student does not qualify with MAP. Student does qualify to participate in the Iowa assessment opportunity. He or she could potentially identify as academically gifted in reading because they received 2 points for their reading verbal score. Once we add the Iowa percentiles, this is the same student. For reading, they had an 89 and math had 75. So the students earned 5 points with verbal aptitude percentiles and reading MAP percentiles. The process stopped and the student does not identify as gifted. I'm going to continue through the rest of these slides. These are a lot of scenarios to go through. Additional opportunities. The unidentified student may be considered for rescreening after a period of at least 24 months. All decisions regarding rescreening are conducted at the school level and are determined by the TD site-based committee. Multiple data points are used to make this decision. And the screening process includes formal assessments, COGAT combined with achievement scores. The screening window for 4th and 5th graders typically occurs in the winter. I hope this has helped explain the certification process in CMS this year. If you have any questions, please email me, and thank you very much.